Cowboy Jim up here in Fort Mac. Sure, thank you for tuning in. I really thank the people who have been watching my stuff, and YouTube is always saying, well, they tell me quite a lot, children. And but on the good side of things, they tell me I should ask people to subscribe. And it is important. Apparently, it's important. I'm not sure. I think it could have something to do with monetizing and so on, but I haven't seen any of that. But I only have 317 videos so far. But I I have spent my life defending people who are being abused, and so it's kind of a natural thing for me to pay attention to what's going on in the Ukraine, and apparently I was just kind of caught a glimpse of Fox News, and apparently it's a recognition of women in history and so on like that, and it's a month set aside to recognize women. And I'm sure there will be a lot of politicians who will crowd in around that limelight and hoping they'll get a little television time and further their political ambitions. And perhaps it is a good thing that this is a month wherein we recognize the equity represented in women, and demonstrate some heartfelt concerns for them. I I can't get over well, two ladies in my life, but the one is Olena Gneos. That's spelled Olena Gneos, Gnes, and she is a mother from the Ukraine, and she has done everything in her power to cause our politicians and the politicians throughout the world, and 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 she has and is standing for protecting her children and in supporting her country. Interviewer Laura Ingram, I would pronounce that Ingraham, but Ingram is how she pronounces it, so I'll just not go against that at all. That would be silly. And Laura asked her, I saw a video that was done yesterday, thank God. I have been concerned about Elena Gneos and whether or not she has survived and the such. And Laura asked her, why do you have no way of leaving the country? And Elena said her car, she has a car, and the tank was full, and they could have left. But Elena Ganev says she is not leaving. She has three children. Youngest is about a 5-month baby girl, and so on, a son, and a little older daughter, I believe. And Elena Ganev has, from the very first time that I watched her, spoken of the things that were necessary for the free world. Let's say, maybe a little euphemistic, because our freedom is limited to what our politicians think we should be thinking about, and limited by their response to our having elected them. And I listen to everything that I can get my hands on. I'm kind of bored up here, and And sometimes it's so critical to be concerned about someone who is in dire straits compared to yourself, and that's in great part where my concern lies. My concern also lies with abused children, people, ladies, so on. And I have studied abuse. I have studied a little too up close and personal for me what an abuser is truly like. And there is a mental health term that indicates that a person is incapable of the recognition of the differentiating between right and wrong. And abusers seem to walk in that. And it's not so much a mental health consideration. It's an evil situation. It's a situation that allows someone to think that they are more important than another who they are torturing. And that is, in essence, what an abuser is. And what he does is what Putin is doing. I have spoken at great length within the mental acuity that this Irishman happens to walk in about end times and so on, and the relevance of what is happening today in relationship to what is spoken of 4,000 years ago in Scripture, to do with end times, all that sort of stuff. And in the book of Zechariah, it is a book that is critical for it has been critical for me. But I believe it is a book that, whether you believe in a creator or not, it's kind of like it's prophetic in many ways, pathetic in other ways, because it delineates what will happen according to the insight of people, prophets like Zechariah. And I, I have tried to make people aware that in the book of Zechariah, it speaks of an army coming against the children of Israel in the valley of Megiddo, and it is called the Battle of Armageddon. And the importance of that was lost on me in my youth. 63 years, I have recognized that there was a creator, is a creator, and his son suffered, bled, and died on the cross for me. And it has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with the various forms of religion. It has a lot to do with history and the forthtelling of what history will be like. Here is what Zechariah says about China. It says, and in Revelation 2, I think chapter 21, it says 200 million soldiers will cross the Euphrates River. The prophet that saw that, he indicated that the river had been dried up. Back 3,500 years ago, 3,000 years ago, looking at the methodology wherein the Chinese will be able to move their soldiers across an open expanse of river. The Euphrates was pretty big. Because I'm not a theologian, I'm a forced retired rancher and a haul truck operator here in Fort Mac. And I thought it's impossible that there could be an army of 200 million people, but China has an army of 200 million people. Uh, it speaks of China coming across and making war against Israel. It also speaks of Gog and Magog coming down from the north. I always thought that was Russia because since I was a kid, I was born in '49, which is a long time ago, children. Trust me, I don't feel old, but the numerical assault that has been placed upon me by the erosion of time. Oh, geez, I'm not young anymore, I guess. It's quite a shock for me. But Soviet Russia will come down and join in the battle, and also further to that, a bunch of people out of the north end of Africa. And in some way, it speaks of the assault against Jerusalem, and Jerusalem is in trouble, dear Lord God in heaven. They are going to, two-thirds of, it says Jerusalem, but I think it well means Israel. Two-thirds of the people will be killed. Of the remaining one-third, half will be left in Jerusalem, Israel, to maintain the ebb and flow of the city, what is left. And half will be taken into custody. And my issues that I deal with today, in light of what I saw on television about this being Women's like History Month, I think of people like Olena Guineos, and who says she will not leave the Ukraine. She's there for the duration. And I think of the strong-willed women in my life. There are, other than Elena, who I don't know. I think the two of the greatest, strongest women that I ever met were my mom, who taught me how to be a man and taught me how to fight and taught me how to care and all those things, and gave me her tender heart and her and her extreme bravery to live out her belief system in the face of serious adversity. Another one is a nutritionist that I met who is, in my mind, one of the strongest women that I ever met, physically, of course, but mentally as well. And I stand in awe because I reverenced my mom so much. I stand in awe of the morality that is represented in so many women. Not the morality like as though you're looking at it from a Christian perspective. No, not that. The morality of a lady understanding what is the right thing and doing it, and with a compassion and passion. And so I go from those two ladies, my mom and the nutritionist, and I go to Elena Guineos, and I watch, I listen, and Putin apparently has a game plan that is most clearly demonstrated in what he's already done to other countries that he was attempting to take over. And he will surround a city and then raise it. What that word means is not to lift it up. He means to put it down and to flatten it and to kill everyone in the city. And we, in our modern understanding of right and wrong, That's so foreign to us. I did a video last night about what one guy said, and he said that it is now being spoken openly that Putin will have public executions in public in the cities of the Ukraine in order to demoralize the rest of the people, to cause them to become subservient to him. That is what an abuser does, causes people to be subservient to him. I met a young man a year ago, and that's what he did. And the humiliation that he executed on me was tantamount to the wrong that I have seen throughout my life by people who were so narcissistic that they believed that they were the only ones that counted. And I saw of the hundreds and hundreds of people that I believe in, and that many of them believe in me, did believe in me. When I put forth what I believed was happening, and it was happening, and if the RCMP are doing their job, that will they'll charge him. Oh, not with the assault that he perpetrated on me. No, not that, but with the abuse. And I believe they will do that because he was so smooth, and his lady, they were so smooth. Putin is so smooth because he's done it before. And that's the conjecture that I gave to the RCMP. I said, this man has done this. This is not the first time. Putin, same thing. This is not the first time. You think that he won't execute people in the village squares, in the town squares? He'll do whatever he wants. That's why I say there must needs be a Russian close to him who could shoot him and kill him. The oligarchs, I pronounce it oligarchs, but it's spelled oligarch. They well could afford to kill Putin. And many of the leaders that he is surrounded with, even though as Hitler did, he hid in a bunker, that's probably what Putin is doing too, because he understands he is devastating his own people, and he is. He's bringing upon them shame. I had a dear friend whose mom during the Second World War in Alberta prayed every day that Hitler would succeed because the glasses she was looking through, held Hitler in high esteem. Many Russian people, unbeknownst to them really, because of their indoctrination, hold Putin in high regard. That's what abusers do. They convince the victim, don't say anything, don't say anything. If you do, well, this young man in a grocery store up here, he came up to me and he said, if you tell anyone what I have done to you, I will have you know there will be serious consequences. I told him what he should do with himself. But you can't tell Putin what he should do with himself, though you would want to. Putin has to be put down, and he has to be put down by a fellow Russian, because otherwise it'll be misconstrued, and the PR that will come from it will bring more death than imaginable. Will Putin use nuclear power? Yes, he will. Will he invade Ukraine? Hey, come on. It's already happened. You know that. But 9 months ago, he started to prepare to invade because of the weakness of the United States of America's leader. Under Donald Trump, that would never have happened. Anyways, I say every time, pray for the Ukrainian people. I've said in all my videos, the first couple of hundred, I have 317. This is 18, I think. I have said you're going to live till you die, and only you can determine what it is that you're going to do that will go down in history as being honorable. Russian soldier, Russian somebody, oligarchs, whatever, kill Putin. It would be an act of kindness. Because if you don't, he's going to go right across Europe. And when he's done with that, he and Xi Jinping, they're going to go against Israel, and Israel is in so much trouble and they don't know it. But I think they know it. Okay, God bless. I thank God that He allowed me the privilege and the honor of having a mom with such integrity and honor, and she was more of a man than most men are. That's a fact. And I also thank God for the honor and the privilege of having met that nutritionist that I spoke about in the north. God bless you. Pray for the Ukraine. Elena Guinness, pray for the mothers who are going to die, and they will. It's a fact. God bless.